Hell y'all. Welcome to part 4 of my Austrian Empire Hitler Path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron for mod Red Flood. In part 3, through a series of political maneuvers and actions taken by the Habsburg monarchy, Adolf Posel took over Austria. And now he has a huge biography. I didn't realize that, my goodness. But he is called the Fuhrer in this mod, isn't he? Yes, he still has that title like he did in real life, I guess. And by that I mean Adolf Posel, he is Hitler in the Red Flood world. But anyway, now let's do the focus, declare a German Republic, and from this we'll get an event called the Ghost of Habsburg Past, and the Austrian Empire will become known as the German Republic of Ostmark, and we'll get 2.5%, 2.50% stability. Go to our research tree. Let's start researching, say, Concentrated Industry 2. That is that. We have some planes in reserve. Let's change that. Or no, don't worry about it for now. We're just watching Hungary at this time. I need to greatly expand my military, probably. Yeah, we're going to need to do that. We got to be extremely tough if we're going to have any chance of fighting against the Germans of the German Socialist Republic and their faction known as the Front, which consists of a lot of different countries in Europe. Well, just 4 different countries that aren't Germany, but Hungary, Slovakia, and Transylvania are 3 big ones we have to be aware of. If we get into a war with them right now, we'll be sandwiched pretty hard, and that would be very, very bad for us. So we're waiting for this focus to be done. It will only take a few days. And let's switch from civilian economy to partial mobilization. Looking over to Eastern Europe, the Ukrainian Hetmanate is fighting the Intermarium, which includes Poland, the Ruthenian Empire, as well as the Lithuanian Republic. And there's the Slovak Revolution. That might be a big deal for us to be aware of. Another war in Holy Land. Kingdom of Syria declared war on the United Zionist Front. And the Hungarian Council Republic declared war on the Slovak Republic. Do we help them? Yes? No? Send volunteers. Can we do that? Let's send 1 division, sure. Send 1 single infantry division to try and help out Slovakia in their bid for independence from the Hungarians. And that will be a national... Well, it will be a conservative Slovakia if they win their war. So Army 2 will try to be arranged to be sent to the Slovak Republic. And send volunteers now. That will be done. So the... Anocracy, is that what it's called? It's right-wing authoritarian style government. We'll send some soldiers off to go help Slovakia, potentially. Hopefully that does give them a little bit of assistance, I would think. And now, let's start doing, say, what do we do here? Complete, I don't know. What do I get here? Research Special Forces. Do that. Yeah. And is Hungary still in that faction? A Ghost of Habsburg Past. Let's try and read this. It says, brush, 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 Adolf Posel's paint strokes dance across the canvas, slowly bringing a picture of the Virgin Mary to life. The light from within the Hofburg Palace fell across his model, and Clever Posel squinted to avoid sun glare. Hold still, you always wanted me to be a painter, and now that I finally have time, you wriggle like a worm. Adolf laughed as he spoke, still drunk on his victory over the former imperial house. It seemed just like yesterday he was in front of his canvas, painting postcards and other gifts just to pay the rent for him and the family. The 2 of them had come far, after all, and he was right to relish in this new life. Clara smirked and spat back. Don't you talk like that to me, Addie. You may be Fuhrer, but I'm still your mother. Besides, can you draw a drape in here? All these blasted windows let too much sun in. At least our old house had proper lighting. Adolf sighed with a smile. Oh, mother, our old house couldn't even fit the 2 of us. Now you have a palace fit for a queen. Anyway, the windows are fine. I need natural sunlight for the painting after all. What are you even making? I've been sat here for hours. Surely you can tell me now. When it's finished, be patient. Adolf shot back with a flick of paint at her, landing on her face. Okay, so let's continue on here. And the painting is a painting of Adolf Posel's mother. who in our timeline would be Clara Hitler, but it's Clara Posel here. And we got a new flag, and the Falanges coup de National Front. And it looks like we arrived to Slovakia a little bit too late. But now, let's complete no room for a single red. And this basically is a focus all about how the Ostmark country is not going to like socialism. And from this, the popularity of right-wing authoritarianism will rise. And also, will gain 4% base stability and lose minus 543 manpower. So I guess a purge will take place. And our units are holding out here in Bratislava. Use last stand because we can. Will that even make a difference? I don't know. We may lose a division for that. If only we could do anything to help you guys out. If only. If only. Can we justify on you? Yes, we can. Yeah, let's fight you, please. 225 days. Please hold out as long as we can. Use last stand constantly. Hold out for Slovakia if it just means we can try and invade. Oh, Slovakia fights the Hungarians back. That's a big deal. The impossible has happened. News came out that the Slovaks have successfully fought back the Hungarian invasion. While this is good news for the Slovak National People's Party and their supporters, it seems that the Hungarians are now the ones scrambling to not meet their end in political irrelevance. Various factions have already thrown blame at each other, but it looks like the newfound leader, Matyas Rakosi's faction, is the one that is getting blamed the most for the embarrassing failure. Politics in Hungary have never been this shaky before, and experts worldwide are saying that it is very likely that we'll see a change from the way of the governing Balkan has made the country used to. Well, okay. However, the possibility of a counter-revolution in Hungary is regarded by some as nothing but a fairy tale for anti-communists. An embarrassment to Hungary, huh? And now we're guaranteeing the independence of the Slovak Republic. So that worked out well for us, and our volunteers will return home. So Austria, well, Ostmark now, essentially saved Slovakia from Hungary there. And let's cancel our justification. I hope ultimately Hungary will get into a weaker position, since that would be terrific for us. And let me actually give Army 1 here a new order. Let's just move them over to go watch somewhere else, maybe. Just maybe we might need to do that. And handling the half Germans. So this is about slabs, I think. And what this will do, once this national spirit is done, once this focus is done, we'll get rid of the ongoing federalization national spirit, and it will be replaced by We Are All Germans, which will cause us to get higher daily political power gain, less stability, and higher war support. Also, it will rename all of the Czech, I guess, or Bohemian, I guess Czech would be the right word. All of the Czech cities we have, they will be renamed to their German versions, essentially. So Bohemia will become Böhmen, and Moravia will become Marin, and other places like that. Pilsen will become Pilsen, and things like that. So now that will take only 35 days. So let's go to our research tree. We need to get more technology researched, get radio, get all that. And let me move Army 1 over here. Here's the army we sent off to Slovakia. They have returned. Good. Somehow that worked out well for us. We held on to Bratislava long enough. The Hungarians were forced to admit defeat. And we need a lot more divisions, I think, if we're ever to fight Germany at all. We just need tons and tons of them. So we're waiting here for this focus. That will take 35 days. I have no political power to really call upon. I can only hope, I really do hope Hungary faces some instability, because right now we're facing two fronts if we get into a war with the German Socialist Republic, or Red Republic, or whatever it's called. And they are definitely a threat if that's going to happen. I do not want to fight a war on two fronts as Ostmark here. And we're just waiting for this focus. That will take a few more days. After that, we'll do something like whatever this one is. And we just got to wait. Just got to wait a little bit more. And how's the plane situation doing? We have a few CR-32s. Are we manufacturing them? I think we are. Yeah, we have a few CR-32s. And we just now have 51 political power. We have an open research slot. Get excavation 2, please. Handling the half Germans is done. And this is about something, I guess, purging some supporters. Okay, we're just purging someone within Ostmark. This is... The Austrian Empire has effectively become a dictatorship under Fuhrer Adolf Posel here, and he's really, really against socialism, and he very much likes Germans. Let's just say that. And let me go to my military staff theorist. Who do we get? Just get a basic military theorist. Do that. Yeah, that might be a good call. Free civilian factories. Build some civilian factories in Lower Austria as well as Upper Austria. That'll be done for now. This focus will take 35 days. Then we'll get some about the Fuhrer Princip or something, and that will give us an event and something called Providence Chosen. That's the event, and we'll get the national spirit, the Fuhrer of Germany, which is interesting. I think a war just ended in Madagascar. Okay, here is 2 new divisions. Set them up to watch the German border. Monarchist victory in Madagascar. Alright, that has occurred. And we need more divisions to be deployed rapidly. We must greatly expand our military. How big is Socialist Germany's military? 45 to 90. We're so small by comparison. They may end up at war at some point with avant-garde France, so we potentially may have to count on some sort of distraction there. Now let's do this focus here. Liberal and reactionary legal tradition. Okay, so this is going to give us that national spirit, the Fuhrer of Germany. I canceled it, but okay, I didn't cancel it. Whoops, I thought I did. But it's going to give us the national spirit, the Fuhrer of Germany, and that will give us higher daily political power gain, higher stability, and a higher surrender limit, which will be important if we're going to fight the massive Red Front, or whatever it's called, the German faction. Let's start researching improved machine tools, get that done. Good. And I didn't realize this, we are guaranteeing the Helvetic Fellowship, which is, maybe I forgot we were doing this, but that is Switzerland. And I just realized Italy is protecting us, essentially. They are guaranteeing us. And we're waiting for this to be done. We'll get that event called Providence Chosen. I'm very curious to see what that's all about. And then after that we have, like, say, several more focuses that will lead us to declaring war on the German Socialist Republic. So before we get there, we'll see what happens. Here's a new division, Providence Chosen. This is a big event, my goodness. It says here, Posel stood before the crowd again. Today it was to Parliament, but there was little difference between speaking to the deputies or the salt of the earth. The goal was the same, to convince them of the holy German cause and to strengthen their will to fight. He stood. Okay, so this is some speech event. He's speaking in front of Parliament. It goes well, I guess. And now let us do responsible to God as a focus. And once this is done, we'll get an event called Our Father's Guiding Grace, and the popularity of right-wing authoritarianism will rise within the German Republic of Ostmark. That is basically Austria and Bohemia at this point. And grab this division here, establish Army 2. They'll have to protect this stuff here over in, well, near Vienna, essentially. Just protect Burgenland from Hungary in case there's some kind of outbreak of war there, which right now I'm trying to absolutely avoid any wars at all, since we don't really have the troops. Well, mainly wars with our neighbors. We could maybe fight Yugoslavia. How many soldiers do they have? They have 13 to 49. Could we manage it? Let me justify on them. Yeah, 235 days. We could, I don't know. We could try it. May be a mistake, though. They have tons of soldiers. But we could get a big puppet in the Balkans, as well as Bulgaria. Well, what's called Thracia. We could get them as a puppet, though, which might be a good call. Maybe. Just maybe that might be a good idea. Bad news is that would be a very, very small front unless we allowed it to get larger, which would require us to lose Crane, which has not really much there currently, so maybe we'll do that and let them just take that area so we can expand the front. And what is this about? Our Father's Guiding Grace. and just skim through that, or just don't bother. Now let's do accountable to Germans. This will give us a right-wing authoritarianism will rise again. Popularity of that will rise in Ostmark. And we have these national spirits here. We are all Germans thus far. We have nationalist rumblings, as well as the Fuhrer of Germany. I hope we get some buffs for our army. I really hope we do, because that would be helpful whenever we try to take on the German Socialist Republic and their allies. And I think with that, I'm going to end what is part 4 of my Austrian Empire Hitler Path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod, Red Flood here. If you enjoyed the mod, you can check it out in the video description. A link to it is there. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.